That's weird. I was thinking today about like, I don't know. It's festival season, so you start seeing a lot of pictures of people at festivals, and I was thinking about all the shitty festivals I've done. And North Springs had some problems, but it was actually a pretty good festival. I played their first year, so I know the power went out and everything was running 3 hours behind and shit. But man, the music was good and the people were good, so it's like that's what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, our guy's a good one down there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I lived in Jackson County for just a minute, not far from where that festival is just a minute, a few years, like 3 years. I liked it, man. It was rural.
It was peaceful.
Yeah, dude. I lived like right by a lake. I mean, my biggest problem was like mosquitoes and raccoons. Like I had to.
That's all right.
I had to bungee cable my trash down, or raccoons would open it up and destroy it.
That makes sense. Well, we will do our best to get you in and out in an hour or so. Good news,
dude. I got nothing to do, so whatever, man.
All right, we appreciate it.
He's got a lot of questions, so
yeah. Lots of questions.
Yeah. All right. Well, TikTok. So what I did this time, Steve, I just screen captured the Facebook feed and put it on there, so it looks
cool.
Looks a lot better than the Riverside like we did last time. So that's be good. So
shout out to you then. All right.
Shout out to you.
Blah blah blah. I have no idea what you're doing. Good job. All right, but yeah, we can get rolling. You don't know what?
Never mind.
It is Cinco de Mayo today. That's right. I didn't get to celebrate,
so we'll say hi to everybody. And when we do that, we're saying everybody that's online. So that'll take a little bit, and then we'll hop over and say hi to you. But usually, Soul Gravy and I bullshit a little bit at the beginning. So
okay.
I'm ready to roll when you are. We can hit the we're live everywhere, and I'll hit the intro button.
Sweet.
All right.
You've arrived at the Texas to Tennessee podcast, your home for your favorite independent artists and a couple of guys you've never heard of.
Who?
It was Texas, it was Tennessee. It was what I had coming to me. You were unlike anything.
Howdy, folks. You have arrived at the Texas to Tennessee podcast. My name is Steve. I'm thrilled to be here. Soul Gravy lets me park my car here every once in a while, so I appreciate it, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Been looking forward to this one.
You and I both, you know. Somebody asked me the other day what it would be like, what it would feel like, or how would you know when this podcast had arrived. And Soul Gravy, tonight is the night.
We arrived. We are here.
Yeah, arrived where?
That's what I was going to say. Where are we?
Well, that's a whole nother question. If you haven't figured it out, folks, Chris and I are both super excited to have Ward Davis on tonight. Good to see you, Ward. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I've been thinking about questions for weeks and trying to ask you something that you have never been asked before. We'll see how that goes. But, we're thrilled to have you. Super excited. And typically, during this section, we cover famous folks from your hometown. But Chris didn't want to be embarrassed, so we are not going to do that tonight. That is, I think, a fan favorite for sure. But we're not going to do that. So special shout out to Evan Boyer and Adam Hood for the silky smooth intro. Always fun to hear that. If you are watching on YouTube or Facebook or TikTok or wherever you are, hit the button. We would appreciate that. It helps us get great guests like Ward Davis. So subscribing actually helps and keeps Chris and I employed. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, that was a great job.
Thanks, man. Well, no. We got to remember to do that every once in a while.
I know.
Like
Terrible about self-promoting, but yes, we should.
So, sir, you've had a few things going on lately. I don't know where you want to start, but maybe start at the Opry. Feels like that would be a good place. That's pretty cool.
That was pretty dope, man. I was I had a couple of months. I knew that was coming, so it was pretty nerve-wracking to think about everything that could go wrong when I had this moment that I've been dreaming my whole life about. And then a couple of days before the Opry, something came over me, and I was like, man, it really doesn't matter how you do. You made it. You're playing on the Opry. Like, what do you care? Just enjoy it. Man, it was everything I dreamed. Steve Warner, a friend of mine, a very cool friend of mine, Steve Warner, brought me out on stage. I had my friend Little Skinny with me. I had my old guy I was in a band with when I was a teenager. His name is Gene Simmons. He came and played steel guitar. So it was a really special night, man. Mama was there, my sister and her kids, and my kids, and none of my ex-wives.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they didn't make it.
Yeah, well, I know there were a lot of folks across the United States, really, to be fair, that are fans of yours that were super excited to see that happen. And it's a validating point obviously for you, but for a lot of your fans that love what you do and couldn't be happier for you. So super cool.
Yeah, thanks, man. Now, I will tell you, there was a moment right before, if you've been to the Opry, they bring the artist out and then he has to plug in and they make sure everything's, and then they introduce him and I'm already out there and shit like that. But I got out there and I looked out in the crowd and I saw my friend, my old buddy from, Arkansas, who had driven up, Joey Donaldson. I looked up and his head, Joey's a big guy, but his head was sticking up above everybody's. And his hair was real slick back. He was wearing a black T-shirt. He was dressed nice for the night. But he had the most serious fucking look on his face that I'd ever seen on it. And I at first it made me start to laugh. And then I realized how serious he actually was. And he was so proud. And I almost started crying. I had to shake it off because it was amazing. But yeah, it meant the world to me that I got to share that with the people that got me there,
Yeah. Well, I do my best not to get super starstruck, but man, what's it like to call Steve Warner a good friend?
Man, dude, I remember the first time Steve Warner called me. I was a kid. I hadn't been in town for 3 or 4 years. And, well, the first thing that had happened is I was in a band playing for this guy named Ray Scott. I don't know if you know about Ray. Ray's great. Mm-hmm. And he's a dear old friend of mine. I was in his band, and Ray had a record deal on Warner Brothers Records, and he had written a song with Steve. Him and his co-writer Philip Moore had written a song with Steve, and he called me and he said, "Hey, would you come put some piano on this when we recorded at Steve's house?" And man, I was like, shit, you kidding me? Yeah, hell yeah. So I went out and I spent the day out there at Steve's, and I played the part. It wasn't hard. It took me 10 minutes to do what I did, and then I just sat back like a fly on the wall and watched them work all day. And then at the end of the day, Steve said, "Hey Ward, how much do I owe you?" And I was like, "Oh, dude, you don't owe me shit. You kidding me? This is the best day of my life, man. I'll never forget this." And he said, "Man, I hate to send you away without anything." And I said, "Well, you can play me the weekend." And son of a bitch, Steve Warner, he had a Martin guitar sitting right there, and he grabbed it and got down and played the weekend for me. And then a few weeks later, he called me and wanted me to come sing some demos for him. And I remember it because I took a picture of the caller ID and sent it to all my friends. and then they were all threatening to call him.
Of course.
Did you have
So
anybody kind of in your circle of friends, music wise or otherwise, that well, I guess music wise, that had been on the Opry or anything like that, that you kind of were able to, lean on or ask questions about it, that it had experienced it themselves?
dude, I mean, I've actually played on the Opry before. I'd never stood in the circle and played, but
Gotcha.
when I was with Ray, um, I think we played it 3 or 4 times. Now I will say back then it was not that important to me. I didn't really give a shit because it wasn't me, and I didn't appreciate it. And plus, man, I'm 40. I'll be 47 this year, so it's like things like that. Man, it's not been. It wasn't a couple years ago. I thought that may never happen. Like that. Not just that I thought it. That I just considered that my reality. That I was never going to get to do that because I'm just an old fart in a fucking young man's town. So to get to do that now is just it's such a greater. Well, not just that, but I did it without a label. I did it without a lot of things. I did it without that mainstream power. I think Jelly Roll was on it 2 nights before me, so
Right.
It's good to get there how I did, man. I'm really happy about it. Yeah.
I don't know who's in charge there or what changed or whatever, but they seem to um, at least somewhat embrace guys like you. I mean, Hood's been there, Edie's been there, and it's like in that last handful of years, they've been pulling those guys up, for whatever reason. I'm not in the business. I don't know why, but I'm glad that it's happening, for sure. It's much deserved.
Well, I mean, dude, I hate to say it. I mean, no, I don't. I don't really hate to say it. Like, who the fuck else are they gonna call, man? Have you heard what's on country radio? Like, that's not gonna go. Like, people come to the Grand Ole Opry
Understand.
for a country music show. They're in Nashville to come see a country music show. And man, I'm not gonna sit here and talk shit about people, but
Understand.
you know what I mean? Like, who the hell?
Hmm.
Like, their roster. I mean, I'm sure it's filthy long of people that they can call and have there at the drop of a hat. But man, actually working, touring acts, that are out there on country radio just aren't. I mean, they don't fit that traditional motif. I mean, they can't, and they're not. They can't fool them either. So it's like it's hard to. I will give props to Jelly Roll, man. I'm a fan, dude. I think what he's done is pretty amazing. I don't know if his music is Hank Williams approved,
Right.
but he got there how he got there, man. You got to respect it.
One more thing, Talbot, and then take the as far as your fans in the Opry and why, I'm sure you got just a shit ton of messages and comments and whatever else. And I would guess the reason why that is because they know how much country music actually means, to you. You're one of those guys that you can tell, like you love the deal, that you're not, it's you. So I would
Well,
imagine that's why it's authentic. So everybody gravitates towards it. So,
man, there is some truth in what you say, but there's another side to it. I mean, if we're gonna be just honest about it, man. Now, I've got 2 little kids. I want them to have everything in the world. If I had the tools and the resources and the facilities to get it done, I'd go down to Music Row tomorrow and write that garbage. Because at this stage of my life, that's, who wouldn't? But the fact of the matter is, man, is the cloth that I'm cut from, the mold, the influences, the things, the teachers who taught me, like they're manufacturing whatever they're manufacturing down there. and I was just taught to make it by hand. And it's different, you know. It's more like you know, you wish that you could work that fast, and you wish that you could work that efficiently with that much behind it, but you got to work with what you got. And that's, man, at my stage in the game, that's, you accept what you got and you work with it, and you don't try to fool everybody into thinking you're something else.
Yep,
Yeah,
for sure.
Understand.
All right,
I'm
Ward.
humbled.
This this section, I'm going to give you a short phrase.
Uh-oh.
You get to decide whether you want to tell the story or not. Pretty simple. All right.
All right.
First one is gooseneck meets shin.
Gooseneck meets shin. Man.
At a concert when you were young.
He's prompting you on stories that you from your past.
Well, man, that first of all, like, hold on, just so we're clear. Take a look at my shins. All right, I don't know if you can tell. You see that?
Yeah.
Those are scars. So,
We got a
me
visual.
getting my shin busted on a trailer hitch or a gooseneck or whatever you said is like, I mean, that happened a lot. So when I was a kid, are we talking about when I jumped out of the trailer and dislocated my hip?
No, feel free to share that one. I think this one was running from maybe a concert that you would like jump the fence and then jump back out and the cops came running. I don't want to tell your story, but
oh, are you talking about now, are you talking about the James Taylor concert?
I think so, yeah.
Oh yeah, man. No, I didn't hurt my shins that night. I hurt so I was roommates with this guy named Tommy Carlos, and we'd only been roommates for a couple of months. We barely knew each other. He was a songer. I was out looking for a publishing deal, and I met him. He was a writer at this company called Hamstein. But Tommy, I came home one afternoon. He's like, "Hey, I got 2 tickets to go see James Taylor tonight. My date bailed on me. Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Yeah, hell yeah!" And they were actual seats at the AmSouth Amphitheater. It's gone now, but they were actual seats, but we sat on the lawn so we could smoke weed. But we also drank and we smoked weed and we had a big old time. At the end of the concert, I went down to the front of the stage and I got a set list off the front of the stage, which I still have. And I shook James Taylor's hand. But man, I was pretty drunk, and I really had it in my head that if I could get backstage, that James Taylor would really want to talk to me. and so I tried to talk my way backstage, but they weren't fucking buying it. And so I looked over on the right side of the stage, and there was like this 8-foot wooden fence, but it had these like little pine trees growing next to it. And man, I grew up in Arkansas. Like, that's all we got to climb. And so I went up this pine tree, and I got to the top of the fence, and I felt my wallet pop out of my pocket. I was wearing cargo shorts, and I looked back, so I had to climb back down the tree and get my wallet, and then climb back up, and then jump down. And then there was this roadie standing there, and he's like rolling up cables or something. And he said, "Man, you better get back over that fence." And man, I was like all out of shape and drunk, and I was like, "Man, I need a gate." And so he got on his radio and he called for some security, and security came, and it was just this kid in a yellow shirt. He wasn't much older than me. And he had me by the arm, you know, like he was leading me out. And he said, "Man, what are you thinking jumping that fence coming back here?" And I said, "Man, I just want to meet James Taylor. I was just coming back here to meet James Taylor. I just want to shake James Taylor's hand, you know." And he said, this idiot who missed the fucking training meeting that told him to probably protect James Taylor at all costs. This idiot goes, "Well, he's right over there, but you can't meet him," while he's leading me towards James Taylor. And so as soon as we got 10 feet from James Taylor, I just started saying, "Mr. Taylor, Mr. Taylor." And I stuck my hand out and I looked down at it, and it was covered in blood and pine sap. Like, it was a mess. But he took it and he shook my sappy, bloody hand. And I said, Mr. Taylor, your music saved my life. And he goes, well, take care of it. And off I went. I can't remember if I said, your music saved my life or your music is the inspiration of my life. I've told the story so many fucking times, I can't remember which one it was.
One of the two.
But it was one or the other. And in any case, his response was, take care of it.
Well done.
So, yeah.
Sage
And
words.
then I didn't I didn't go to jail or anything. I wasn't able to go to concerts there for a year.
We might get to that later. All right. Soul Gravy, your turn.
Okay. All right. So we all know that you have a friend that's named Cody. And I watched your podcast with him the other day, which was really good.
On my end it said it was uploading. Or is your end still recording?
Mm-hmm. Let's double check what's going on.
Yeah, double check because I got a spam call and it like fucked with it.
Oh, okay. Upload complete. Let's see, what is it doing? I'm sure. I mean, I would imagine it's still going.
Okay, if it's still going, I'm sorry. I didn't want to.
No,
It's okay. It's all right.
I was like, shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, I heard you talking about.
We may get you to go hop out and hop back in, just in case.
You want Ward 2?
Yes, sir.
Can you?
All right, I'll do it.
Okay, thanks.
Because it's not yours is saying record, mine's saying record, but his was not. So
Okay.
All right, give me just one sec.
Yep.
Please do.
All right. Hello, folks on YouTube.
Yeah. That James Taylor inspiration got us.
Okay. All right, we got some questions.
Do we?
Yeah, they will not get asked, but thank you for asking. They might. Never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Do our best.
Yeah, it could have been fine, but I'd hate to.
Yeah, just, yep.
All right.
Think we're recording?
Yes, it is. It says we are recording. So good deal.
Cody Jinx.
All right.
So good.
All right.
Okay,
I mentioned Cody's name and it all went to hell. I really like the podcast that he's doing, and you can tell they're all of his homies, which is it's cool. It's cool to see. I'm glad to see he's doing that for sure. But one of the things I want to ask with yours and his relationship, when y'all go into writing songs, do each of you kind of come at it with something like your own what am I trying to say? Your own strong points? Does that make sense?
Yeah, Cody is like a really calm, like sit and think writer, and I'm a real like pace around the room and look at the bottoms of lamps and shit. Like I move around a lot. I find rhythm and moving around like that. So Cody and I, like, we work together well. Like, we've had success together because Cody never let anybody get in his head. And so Cody writes these very well, first of all, he's a metalhead. So he writes this. I don't know if you've ever like really dove into metal lyrics, but from what I can tell, for the most part, it's really pretty poetry, except for the music. It's just really loud sometimes and wild.
Yeah.
But it's really nice poetry. So Cody's kind of a poet, he writes these words and he kind of goes around and above and through your head sometimes with it. And sometimes it's maddening when you're in a writing room with him because you don't know what the fuck he's talking about. But therein is like where we communicate, man, because I spent 15 years on Music Row trying to polish songs and write songs that people would like and that would get on the radio. And then when I finally did divorce myself from that, I still have all of those tendencies as a writer to find, little word tricks, alliteration and internal rhyming and doing the point counterpoint. I like the tricks of the trade more, and I use them more than Cody does. And he's very staunch when it comes to like, is this song me? Can I record this? Is this who I am? Because if in my opinion, he'd probably argue with you, but sometimes I think it's not as good for the song to be so personal. But because Cody does what he does, and he's like a true artist, his heart compels him to be honest in his writing and in his music, and so that's what he does. But sometimes I want it to rhyme harder, Sometimes I want the flow I want there to be like some kind of little rhythmic something in it. And he just like, no, it needs to be this.
Like the marble story?
Yeah, exactly, man. It was just like
Gotcha.
he's a very literal writer, but he's also no, he's not a literal writer. He's an honest writer.
Gotcha.
He's really true to himself.
Do you think you've picked up anything from each other?
Well, I mean, success.
You're welcome,
man,
Cody.
dude, like honestly, what I picked up from Cody is a best friend in this world. We both have, man, we look out for each other. Sometimes Cody will call me with a problem that has nothing to do with me, and I'll give you an example without getting too specific. Cody had made an investment on something, and he was trying to figure out how the best way to get back on his investment. And he was like, I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this. And I said, Cody, how much do you spend on this? And he told me. I said, dude, fuck it, man. Don't do that. Don't do any of that. Just say fuck it and walk away. You lost that money. That's too bad. Just go. Like, you can make more. Stop spending money trying to get it back. It's like You're gambling.
Yep.
And he called me a couple days later, and he's like, man, I think that's what I'm going to do, And like, I showed up once in a, well, no, I'll take it back. I have a song called Don't Forget to Get Stoned, and it's pretty funny. And I played it for Cody one time, and he said, man, that's great if you want to be that guy. I said, what? He said, yeah, you want to be that guy? I said, what guy? He said, the guy that plays that song every night. I said, I won't be the guy that plays that song every night. I've got a lot of other songs. He's like, yeah, but what if that's the one they remember you for? You got to play it every night, pal. Is that who you want to be? I was like, fuck. He's right. I took that shit out of the set the next day. I haven't played it since.
How much money are we talking about, Cody?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
What was real quick? What was the first song that you and Cody wrote together?
I'm Not the Devil.
Okay, I knew
Good
that
one
was
to
early
start
on.
with.
I just didn't know if that was the first.
No,
one.
it's actually not a good one to start with, man, because we were trying to top it.
That's true.
It's fucking
Fair
shitty.
enough.
Good thing we
Yeah.
like each other.
Right. Well, this goes to the second question in the Ward Davis roulette wheel.
Okay.
So this one came from our friend Mikey, but it's the story about, I guess, you and Cody when you first met. Anything you can share. You can also pass if you don't want to.
Well, so I mean, I'll tell you the story. I had this booking agent. Is it Mikey? I think it's the same Mikey, probably.
It is, yeah.
He called me and he said, I want to get you on this the show with this guy, Cody Jinks, and I got on. I looked Cody up, and I was like, yeah, this is good. I think it'd be a good fit. You know, he's like, it's $150. I was like, fuck, $150 in San Antonio? And Mikey was like, yeah, but he's got this manager that I want you to meet. And that's a whole other story there.
Yep.
But I went down there and I drug a suitcase in. I brought a drummer and a bass player with me, and the drummer played cajon for me that night. And I was paying them each $150, so I was already losing money. But Mikey had told me people would be there. And Mikey, man, for whatever, Mikey and I, we had a pretty good business relationship and friendship. He busted ass getting me gigs. Like, I would go out to Texas and I like in a 12-day period or a 13, 14-day period, I would do 10, 11 shows. Just every night. Some of them were we'd call them beat downs, man. I would go out there and I'd get $200-$300 a night, but I was, making money and clearing it and getting home. Some nights I was sleeping in the van, a lot of nights. And so to get on a show that was of any consequence with actual people showing up was a big deal for me, and I wanted to make a good impression. So I brought in a drummer and a bass player. I'll never forget, Cody sold $2,200 in merch that night. I thought that was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. I was like, holy shit, this guy's rolling in money. But anyway, so when I got there that day, I was dragging my suitcase full of T-shirts, and I had my bass player and my drummer with me, and out walks Cody. And I said, are you Cody? And he said, yeah. You Ward? And I said, yeah. I said, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Blah, 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 blah. And Cody had that song I really like, I Cast No Stones. I really like that song. But anyway, he said, I think I might have said that. I was like, man, I really dig that Cast No Stones, man. Did you write that alone? Yeah. I was like, man, well, I love it. I love what you're doing. He said, man, do you like weeds? And I said, yeah. And he said, come with me. And we went back and we smoked a joint. Then we smoked another one. Then he got ready, or I got ready and I did my show. He got ready and did his show. And I'd stood backstage and I'd watched the crowd. And there was this girl and she had really big titties. And I remember because she was hanging over the rail and they were really hanging over the rail.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. But I remember that. And I was standing backstage with Cody's manager. And I wasn't looking at her. She was very obvious. But I was looking at the crowd. And I saw all these people. And here's this guy that I'd basically never heard of until a few weeks before. And they were eating him up. Like, it wasn't so much that I was impressed with the show because I couldn't really hear the show. I don't know if you've ever been to Floors, but I was backstage, so I couldn't hear shit.
Yep.
But man, those people were losing their fucking minds over this guy, this fucking guy up here. I'd never heard of. Who the fuck is this guy? And he came off stage and he came back to the green room and I said, Cody, I had no fucking idea you were this big deal. And he goes, dude, that's like the third time that's happened. He said, it just started happening. Like every now and then he's like, we still sell 200-300 here and there. He's like, man, sometimes it's just a sellout and it's just like crazy like that. I don't know. And but it was this moment where he and I we just kind of hung out all day. I don't know. We were just maybe curious about each other. I don't know. You'd have to ask him about his end of it. But I was curious about him before, and then I was really fucking curious after because I was like, how the fuck did you do this without radio, without anything? I don't know if you've been to Cody's Facebook lately, but Cody's He's getting better at it. They tell him to do shit while he's fishing, so he'll do that. But man, it really was phenomenal. And a few weeks later, I guess that was in February, and so in April, so a couple months later, no, it was about a month later, we were in Stephenville, Texas, and I don't know if you've ever been to Stephenville, Texas, but man, we were playing at I think it was called like Club Rodeo or something. I can't remember the name of the place.
Okay.
Man, it was fucking rough, dude. Like, I saw the worst fight I'd ever seen in my life. Like, I'd never seen two men entangled in such a way that they were trying to rip each other in half. And that's what was going on. It just looked like these guys were in a tug of war with their bodies, and they were trying to pull each other into two pieces. I'd never seen anything like it. But before the show, I was standing outside, and you can look up the date on this if you wanted to, because it'd be pretty easy to find, but it was the day of Merle Haggard's funeral.
Oh.
And I got a call that Merle, the week before he died, had chosen all the music for his own funeral, and he had picked a song that he and Willie had recorded that Marla Cannon and I wrote called Unfairweather Friend. And she called me and to tell me, and I started, we were both, God, man, that song has just been like so trippy for both of us. But I walked back around there, and Cody was like, he said, man, you look like you just saw a ghost. And I was like, dude, you ain't gonna believe this shit. They just played my song at Merle Haggard's funeral. And after the show, Cody was loading his trailer. He was still loading his shit back then. And I walked over there and I said, hey, Cody, I was like, you'll try writing a song sometime?
Good timing.
And he said, he chuckled. He was like, you think we could? And I was like, yeah, man, I want to. And he said, yeah, let's do it. And so then like a month later, he sent me a text and said that he was one song short for his new record, that he was in El Paso. He said, if I buy you a ticket and fly you down here, can you come down here and try to write a song with me? And I said, sure, man. And dude, I had no kidding. Like, before I met Cody, I don't want to say, yeah, I'd say before I was even out touring and shit, before I was even out doing that. And I hadn't been doing it very long when I met Cody either, just about 6 months. Man, I'd had this really complicated relationship with my dad, and I used to have these imaginary conversations with him when I wasn't actually talking to him, because he and I weren't talking, but I would speak as though I were speaking to him out loud. And one day I was driving home drunk, which wasn't good, but I was having one of these conversations with my dad, and I said to him, Dad, I'm not the devil you think that I am. And as a songwriter, when you say things and you hear them and they flow and I grabbed my phone and I just kind of recorded and like a little melody thing. And it had stuck with me for months and months and months. And so when Cody called, like, I loved Cast No Stones. And Cast No Stones is a waltz, man. And I love a man that loves waltz. Like, I love waltzes. So I thought, man, I'll take you, Mom, not the devil idea. I'll tell him about it and we'll write it. And so he flew me down to to El Paso, and then drove to Tornillo to Sonic Ranch. And we went on the back porch of this little adobe building. It was like a bunkhouse for the band where they stayed that was next to the studio. And we went around on the back porch. And dude, I mean, it didn't take more than an hour and we were done. And we took it back around to the studio, and the band was kind of waiting. They were waiting to see if we had something they could record. And his manager was there and his producer, and everybody was standing there. And I was facing the studio, and I could see everybody in the reflection on the window. And I was playing it, and Cody was reading it off the paper, singing it. And, I'm not the devil. You think that I ain't no excuse. I'm just a man. I slipped and I fell. I got out of hand, but I'm not the devil. You think that I am. And when he hit the am of the second time, he said, "Devil I am." I looked up in the glass, and I saw Cody's manager look at Cody's producer, and they smiled and nodded at each other. And I said, "All right, we got him." And they went in and cut it that night. And I think Cody will say that they cut it that night. And that's not actually what happened. They did go in and cut it that night, but everybody was tired and drunk. And so everybody got up the next morning, and I played acoustic on it. And we actually changed a couple of the lines, just polished it a little bit. And I'll never forget, though, that at the end of the song, when we played it for the team that afternoon, his manager goes, there's your first single. There's your album title. There's your whole fucking career. And he said it like that. And man, I've been in this business a long time, dude. When people say things like that, first of all, it's flattering. But second of all, you go, bullshit. Nobody says that means it. Like, whatever. It's nice. Thank you for inviting me down for the writing time and the free Mexican food, but I'll just go home and understand that I probably won't even have a song on the record. But dude, it was the title track. It was the first single. Within a year of that, we were on the Conan O'Brien show playing it. And the whole reason I had started out and cut my record in the first place, because I'd seen Sturgill Simpson on Conan O'Brien. And seeing Sturgill was like, well, who the fuck is this guy? And how did he get on Conan O'Brien? And then I thought, well, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
And man, it just, Cody, I tell you all this because I want you to understand that Cody is he's a friend. And it isn't just that we shared that show, and then it wasn't that we shared these tours, and that we shared the success of that song. And we've shared all of these wonderful things since. Man, he is just the most loyal guy I've ever known. And every time he cuts a record, he calls me. Dude, I'll tell you something. You want to hear some shit?
Yes, sir.
He might get mad about me saying this, but I'm going to tell you anyway, just so you know what kind of guy he is. Cody's cutting a new record right now. It's fucking great too. I think it's his best record in like 3 records, what I've heard. And he texted me and he said, "You got 4 on here." And I said, 4? Shit, man. Hell yeah. 4. What are they? And he sent me all 4 of them. And I listened to one of them and I was like, yeah, we wrote that one. Like, yeah, well, that one too. I got to the 4th one. I was like, well, I don't know what the fuck this is. And I texted Cody. I was like, this is cool. But man, we didn't write this song. And he said, I called you one day and I was telling you about this song and you said a line in it. And he said, it's my favorite line in the song and I can't beat it. So I got to put your name on it.
Yeah.
And I said, Cody, just take the line, man. I don't care.
Right.
And he said, nah, your name's on it, man. I like doing it. It's my favorite line in the song.
Yeah.
Dude, he's just a good guy, man. He gave me that. Yeah. He didn't have to do that.
Folks don't do that. Yeah, super cool.
He's a friend. Now, the rest of the shit I wrote. Just not that one. And I'm not going to tell you which one either.
All right. Well, whatever. We'll figure, we'll work on it later. Since Dr. Gravy decided to bounce out, I get to ask another story question if you're okay with that.
Yeah, dude. I smoked a joint right before we started, so I'm rambling pretty well. Yeah.
No, you're good. All right. This one is called "Is It Eric Church?"
Okay.
Does that ring any bells involving a good friend of yours? I think you were present.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I want to tell that story. That's not a very.
No, that's all right.
And the reason is, I'll tell you why I'm not going to tell that story. Because someone in that story was very offended and very disrespected.
Fair enough.
And that person found it in themselves not to take as much offense to it as I took to seeing it happen. And so I got to lean on my friend that it actually happened to and go with them and just say, it's okay. It's not that big a deal. So, yeah, I don't want to tell that story.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll give you one more. This might be my favorite one. Wallace and the car rental.
A wallet and a car rental. Wallace?
Yeah, Wallace and a car rental.
Oh, Wallace and a car rental.
Yeah.
Now, just so we're clear, you're wanting me to admit to insurance fraud.
No, I don't think you have to get all the way there, but I do feel like
I think I'd have to. I mean, it's a story. The whole story is highly relevant. But I mean, you can't tell one little piece of this one without telling the whole damn thing. So
we can skip it.
No, I'll tell you. I don't care. I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations of.
I think you're safe.
Yeah, it's pretty outlaw shit. Well, first of all, I want to say that I do not drink. I haven't drank in about 5.5 years. I do not advocate drinking and driving. I do not advocate drinking and doing most things. So, just so we're clear, I'm not a drinker. I don't fault people for drinking, but drinking makes people do stupid shit, make bad decisions. Sometimes people die. Sometimes people
for sure
lose relationships, whatever. Anyway, I'm not boasting about this, but I will tell you the story. I had been in Nashville very long. I got a job working for a pharmaceutical company, and first of all, I didn't even know that you could be addicted to pills. Nobody ever taught me pills were addictive. But here I was working for this pharmaceutical company, and my job at that pharmaceutical company was to go to hospitals and get all of their out-of-date narcotics, count them all up, write up paperwork, and send them, either ship them or take them with me to a facility where they were incinerated. And I did that. That was my job. And so we had an account in Monroe, Louisiana, which was about an hour and a half from where I grew up. Not quite an hour and a half, but that's where we used to go to drink when we were in high school. And in college, we'd go down there to the clubs. And so anyway, it was a short drive to my hometown. And so I thought, man, I'm going to go. My parents were out of town, so the house was locked up. So I just called my buddy Wallace and said, man, I'm going to come out with you. I'm going to I'm just going to crash at your house. And he said, yeah, good idea. And so me and Wallace, we go down. There's one bar in my town. It's called I can't even remember what it's called. La Terraza now. But otherwise, it's a dry county. It's the only place in town where you can go have a cold beer. But on that particular night, me and Wallace decided to go in there on a work night for me, where I had to drive back to Monroe the next morning, and just totally obliterate ourselves. Just awful night. So at some point, Wallace needs to go home. He's not able to function, and so it's me to drive, and I'm in a rental car. And so I'm about to back out of it's almost like a thank God I didn't even make it to the road. But I didn't make it to the road because I backed my rental car up under a dump truck that was parked at the hotel that's attached to the restaurant where we had been drinking. And it totally just I backed underneath it, and it smashed out the back glass of the thing. And I said, oh, shit. And Wallace said, what? And I said, I just smashed the back glass out of my rental car. And he said, man, people smash out glasses all the time. It ain't that big a deal. Let's go home. I said, no, I can't go home. We'll get pulled over. So I'm like, how do I do this without going to jail or getting in trouble or whatever? And so I got out and I gathered up all the little pieces of tail light and glass and all this shit. Mind you, I was like, this is 25 years ago. And I went and parked it behind the hotel, and then I went and got me a room at the hotel. I told Wallace, find another way home, and I went and laid down I parked it, and I went and laid down in the hotel. About 3 hours later, I get a beep, beep, beep on the door, and it's the cops, and they said, your car's been someone's broken into your car. And I said, oh no. And I walked down there and I was like looking at it, had my hands on my hips. And I said, fellas, I think somebody might have backed into this thing. And he said, what? I said, yeah. I think there were some trailers here when I went to bed, like logging trailers. I wonder if one of them didn't back into this and clip and they said, by God, I bet you that's what happened. All right, Mr. Davis, well, here. They filled out the report, handed it to me. I'd drive that rental car all the way to Monroe with that glass flying around and getting stuck in my hair and shit on that shattered glass. And I got there and gave them that paperwork, and they gave me another car and sent me on my way. Everything was fine. That's it. That's their story.
Shout out to Wallace.
Shout out to Wallace. Now, I got more Wallace stories.
I know you do. We got to respect your time. I think Soul Gravy has some more questions.
All right, Soul Gravy, what do you want to know about Wallace?
And you took a shot at Cody earlier in his social media, but I know that you partake a little bit in your socials, and I would like to say I think a lot of your fans probably really appreciate what you do on your socials, as far as whether it's partly real life or partly bullshit or partly a mix of both or whatever. Just getting a glimpse in the artists that they listen to, into their world anyway. I would bet a lot of them are bigger fans of you because of what you do on your socials. Have you?
Yeah, dude. People come up to me all the time and say, "Man, I really like your music, but I love your Facebook." Like, no, man. I don't know, dude. I've been around this, like I keep saying, I've been around this forever, but man, there's so much posturing and people do just so much stupid shit on Facebook just to get attention. And man, real life is so much more interesting. Like I was going down the road the other day and I pulled my phone up and did like a little selfie video of my kids singing Another Bad Apple, and my oldest daughter saying dang instead of she's too dang high. No. Meanwhile, not an hour earlier, she had told on her little sister for calling her a motherfucker. One won't say damn, and the other one's calling her a motherfucker for it. So
kids for you.
Anyway, so I posted that, man. It got shit. I don't know how many thousands. Like, I stopped looking yesterday, and it was like 60,000 views. And dude, I can act like a clown, and I won't get that many. And sometimes I'll do something like that, and it'll go crazy. I mean, I'll get 1 million, 2 million, 5 million views sometimes on stuff like that. But there's nothing really spectacular about what we do, man. It's like I write songs, and I go out and play them. My tour manager's sitting right here right now. He's been watching me this whole time. We're going to go to Chicago tomorrow and do shows. It's a grind. It's going to be hard. It's work. I'm going to come home. It's probably going to have rain. I'm probably going to have to mow my yard again. I've got a pretty normal life. And most of us do, you talk about Cody. I called Cody this morning, and we talked a while, and he was like, how you doing? I was like, man, I'm bored as shit. Like, I've been sitting around for 6 weeks. I'm so ready to go out on the road. And he's like, man, I've been busy. He's like, I had 2 ball games yesterday, and I gotta go take my car to the shop, and I gotta go do this. And I was like, yeah. I was like, Cody, the only reason you're busy is because you don't pay people you could afford to pay to do that shit for you. I was like, you're staying busy because you're not outsourcing your car and I was like, but seriously, man, like there's nothing there. All the glory and fame and all that bullshit, man. I don't really care about it anymore. I think is Facebook. I think it's funny that so many people watch me behave the way I do on Facebook because I'm not promoting anything, like I'm not promoting an album. I'm not saying, hey, come out to my shows, which I do sometimes, but I get sick of seeing that shit too, like if I go on James Taylor's Facebook page, I want to see him sing Fire and Rain. I don't want to see him promoting a show in, Schenectady or however you say it.
Right. Yeah.
Look, Tab, I'm gonna do one more, and then that'll be it for me.
Okay.
All right. So I'm a huge Tom Petty fan as well. And I don't know how big of a Tom Petty fan you are, but I want to know how Wildflowers ended up on the album. And I know it makes a lot of your shows as well. So, why that song?
Man, we all have songs in our lives that are the soundtracks of those moments. And that was me talking myself into leaving my girl's mom, my ex-wife Rachel. And I knew I had to leave her. I knew I had to because I was hurting her too bad. I was cheating on her and she knew it. And I was hurting her. And it was hard, and I listened to that song over and 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 over. And just loved it. I loved the song, and man, it was just an important song to me. And one night, me and Moose, my producer, Moose Brown, were in his studio, and we had just recorded some stuff. And he was like, "What do you want to do?" I was like, "I don't know. What do you want to do?" He's like, "What you want to do?" And I said, "Man, I've been noodling around with this." And I just started playing it. I was like, just because I love it. And he said, "Well, let's do that." And so I recorded a guitar and I recorded my vocal. And then Moose slowly but surely built everything around that. And all the drums, that's him playing them. All the guitars, that's him playing. We did hire Mickey Raphael to come and play harmonica.
Hey.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong there.
Yeah.
But man,
he's okay, I guess, right?
It's a miracle, dude. Tom Petty it's really hard to license Tom Petty music because he was so, I mean, he had a reputation as a really hardcore businessman when it came to his recordings and his copyrights and stuff. I can tell you for a fact that is true even posthumously. That man, his copyright, like I still don't know if we can get that played in Europe, but I knew it was a real motherfucker to get it done in the first place.
Yeah. Great answer.
I'm sorry if I said motherfucker and fuck and shit, and whatever.
It wouldn't be the first time we've heard it, so it's fine.
Hey, one other thing. I'm Not the Devil. I know you and Cody both play that live, and as a fan, I appreciate that you both put your own spin on that song as well. Yours more piano driven and all that, and it's I know it's not two different songs, but it feels like it when you go to the shows. So just
yeah, man. It's when we were writing it, I wanted to make it about a woman, and Cody was just like, "Leave it open, bro. Don't say anything about women because it can mean so many things."
Yep.
And so that's the way he did it. I think it's just like instinct. It's about a woman to me. The pathetic guy in the song begging her not to leave him. So, but yeah, man, I appreciate you saying that. It is to mean a lot of things, that song.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch people talk about what they think it means, which I think is probably interesting on maybe it is on your end too, but all the crazy different things and but
yeah, man, it's like there is some fun to getting to explain things to people. It's really weird when people come up to you and tell you what a song means to them for a specific reason, and you go, "That has nothing. The song has nothing to do with that." You know that, right? And they go, "Yeah, but when you think about it, it's
it works."
Weird. Yeah, man. I've got a song called "Live a Lie," that a guy came up to me at a show one night and he told me that it made him think about, his wife had passed away and he had moved on and started dating, and he had this girlfriend, and he said, I have this girlfriend. I love her. She's great. He said, but if I could have anything, I'd have my wife back. And he said, I hear that song and I think of that. And the song is about a guy who's in love with a woman that he had an affair with. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with anybody dying or anything, but it was cool to hear that guy tell me about how that song had helped him cope and shit. And I had no intention of it,
Right.
So it's cool when people interpret things into their own lives. And if you can write something real enough that it has an emotion that goes along with it, makes it a lot easier, I guess.
Whole thing, for sure. We're going to skip rapid fire unless, Ward, you want to do rapid fire. Otherwise, we're going to go to the final question.
Dude, I'll do whatever, man. Like,
all right. Well, we'll ask you a couple rapid fire. Yeah.
Rapid fire.
All right. Favorite chord, Ward Davis. What's your favorite chord?
C.
C. All right. There you go. I think Soul Gravy wrote this one because I would never put these words together. But when Little Ward got up on Saturday morning, what cartoons or shows did you watch?
Looney Tunes.
That was definitely me.
Smurfs.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Big Smurf fan. I don't want to ask that one, Soul Gravy. Sorry.
Okay.
Hold on, we got a couple more. Ideal green room. I know you've seen all kinds. What's your ideal green room look like?
Man, long couch. I want a long couch in case I need a nap. I want a refrigerator with water, with Coke, some sugar-free Red Bulls. I want some snacks, but I don't want bullshit like fucking healthy snacks. I want like some Cheetos. I want some granola. I want some good coffee. I could go for a hot water, a kettle of hot water, and some tea for some throat coat.
Sure.
But man, I think of all of it, the long couch is the most important.
Yeah.
Just so I can grab a nap if I need it.
Totally makes sense. This one's kind of, I don't know, it's strange because most people we ask haven't played all the cool places that you've played, but I want to know, what's your bucket list venue that you haven't played yet?
I only got one.
No?
Man, I really only had 3. And one, it was the Opry, and that's not even a venue, it's an institution. So
Sure.
The only other 2 that I really like when I was a kid, like literally thought, I hope I get to play here one day, and I hope I get to play here one day. One was the Ryman Auditorium, and one was the Troubadour in LA.
Huh.
And I've headlined them both twice.
Pretty dang cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
All right, last one I have for you is dinner with one historical figure. It could be anybody, dead or alive. I want to know who you're eating with and what are you eating?
Who am I eating dinner with? Anybody in history, dead or alive?
Yeah, it's pretty. It's a lot of people.
My dad.
All right, great answer.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for rapid fire. Ward Davis knocked it out of the park, folks.
All right.
All right. So everybody already follows Ward on all of his socials, but if you don't, make sure you follow Ward, and wherever you listen to your music, hit the follow button over there too. It helps everybody, any independent guys for sure. Go see a show, buy some merch, shake a hand. But this is the last and final question, Ward. And speaking of not healthy things in green rooms, you set this question up. So this started as a joke on episode 1, and now it was a requirement. So we need to know, what is your favorite Little Debbie snack?
All right. So here's the deal. This is I've had. When you say Little Debbie snack, Nutty Buddy is a Little Debbie snack. That falls into the because I've gotten into debate over just one after the other. That is hands down the best Little Debbie snack there is and will ever be is the Nutty Buddy.
Shout out. Yeah.
Fair
We
enough.
did what do you call that? A bracket? You know how you do brackets?
Yeah.
I got a friends group from back home, and we did a bracket, and it came down to me. I was the final vote on the final bracket, and it was Nutty Buddy all the way, baby.
Well done. Well done.
Well, we appreciate your time, Ward, and we appreciate your team. Thanks to Jim for mediating this thing as well. He's been kind to me along the way at some venues and things. So appreciate folks like that, Tubbo.
Yeah, and shout out to Kathy. She was also super helpful. Great folks. Folks, join us tomorrow, 8 p.m. Tristan Robertson will be joining us. Ward, I'm sure you got free time on your hands, so it's 8 o'clock if you want to join.
Hell yeah, I'll be up right on time.
All right, man. Thanks so much for making time for us. We appreciate y'all. See you tomorrow night.
See ya.